Hey, everybody. Can you relate to this? I love humanity. It's people I can't stand. I'm talking about the stress that comes with dealing with other people, especially when you're a sensitive woman on track with your passion, your purpose, and you're feeling the weight of other people's stuff coming at you, right? This is something that I think it's time to get real serious about, especially if you're really wanting to succeed in what you want, whether it's more clients, whether it's building the business, being more in touch with your purpose, why you're here, or maybe it's to attract the right kind of man. Maybe you're on the dating scene. These things all pertain to how you relate with other people. And especially now, we've never been in a more critical time where the world is like spinning on its axis. And we need women who can stay fully present to be that rock of inspiration so that you can care for yourself as a woman and be there for people who you support. Um, because especially especially if you have a sense that there's more that you've wanted for yourself and you didn't know what it was, but you could feel the calling and it won't leave you alone. That's stressful because in some way your calling has something to do with people. So um, take notes. The first thing I want you to write down is a life of purpose and essence is the only thing that matters. Write that down. A life of purpose and essence is the only thing that matters. So I think you can already start to feel that this clip is not really about how to just build your business, but it's about how you are in the world as a woman. Because our culture out there is kind of masculine in how things get done. And if you're anything like me, you have struggled with honoring this more sensitive, soulful part of you. A lot of women in our culture, and I'll speak for me, earlier on, I was surrounded in corporate, which is a very masculine environment in the way things tend to get done. And as a result, a lot of women have resorted to doing things in a style that's more masculine for them than they prefer. And it leaves them feeling depleted. If you're feeling exhausted, that you feel like you've got to push to get things done or they won't get done, or you speak up, no one hears you, or at a networking meeting, you're just like, oh my God, I hate this. I don't know what to say. Or you're on a dating scene and you're not attracting the right kinds of guys, maybe men that you end up feeling like you have to mother, or maybe you're in a committed relationship and it's lost some of its juice. This clip is for you. Everything that I've mentioned is something I have personally lived through. So why? Let me tell you what happened. So I grew up in a household where we never talked about anything meaningful at the dinner table. In fact, we didn't really talk at all. We just ate. I came from a family that was primarily very intellectual, academic, a lot of physicians, a lot of brilliant people. But, and you know, this is typical in immigrant families that the mantra was be smart, be helpful, and be understanding of other people. And if you just do that, that should be the special sauce that gets you success in the world. So that's what I did. And I can remember starting in high school, perhaps, I started to know something was off. So I'm around a lot of kids, and can you imagine being 15 years old, wanting so much to connect to people, but all I knew was how to be smart, helpful, and understanding. I didn't really know how to connect with people past a certain superficial level. Are you with me on this? Well, I mean, it was awkward. You know, I'm 15 years old in the school cafeteria and I have no one to sit with for lunch. And I thought, well, there must be something wrong with me. So I tried even harder to be liked, to be smart and helpful. If you've got a problem, I'm going to try to give you an answer, because inside I was very shy. And shy, sensitive people, maybe you're like me. Some people get really quiet and they sort of disappear. I would blurt, you know, and some of you can relate. If you're nervous, your mouth starts blurting, right? It's the same thing. Well, Fast forward a few years into my 20s, and when I was out, I had a very successful career in the banking and IT world. I was around a lot of people, social, but by then I had a sense that something was wrong because I was trying even harder to improve myself. Can you relate? If some of you are big on self-help books and all this stuff, I was trying even harder to be smarter, more helpful, and more understanding. Are you with me on this? It was exhausting and it didn't work. I just tried harder. And someone said, well, all you need to do is be yourself. And I said, I'm working on it. And it wasn't until a serious breakup that I suddenly realized I can't keep doing this anymore. I'm tired of I have bust my butt trying to be smart, helpful, and understanding. It's not working. I got ghosted by someone who could hardly give me the time of day, and I was madly in love. And at that point, a switch went off, and I said, I can't keep doing it this way. Because if I don't find another way to create, I had a sense that I was supposed to be doing more in life. Can you relate? That there was something off. And if I didn't find the solution to that, there was really no point in being here. It was very lonely, very awkward. And through a series of events, I met what's known now as a medicine person, spiritual mentor, teacher. It's what I do now. And she took one look at me and said, come work with me, and I'm like, I was very resistant because I thought, oh my God, I've gone over to the dark side. By then I had done some spiritual work and I had a side business of working with clients. I was one of the top analysts at a telecom company, making a lot of money, absolutely miserable inside. So we started working and I thought, oh my God, I've gone crazy. But let me tell you, things started to change really quickly because in particular, she focused on my feminine essence. This is what I want to share with you today, the it factor that has nothing to do with fixing yourself. I discovered that there had never been anything wrong with me to begin with, other than the idea that there was something wrong with me. I interpreted that if I'm in pain, there's something I need to fix about me. What I didn't understand is there was a whole big part of me that had never been turned on. I didn't have any idea there was a thing called feminine essence. In fact, I would have squirmed. And once she put me in touch with that, a lot of amazing things started to happen very quickly, which typically happens for me and my clients. It's like the world moved. I could feel everything. Everything went from black and white to full color. I could feel, and it was the most unusual experience. And during that time, I didn't tell anybody. I was working on my feminine essence. People started noticing me. People started responding to me differently in meetings. My ideas. I'd say something in a meeting, and people would lean forward. In my business as I'm an energy medicine healer, because I see people's auras and stuff, I had never had any semblance of understanding of this part of my energy field. I thought I was pretty woke, right? In people's auras and stuff. I had no idea because I couldn't see myself. And this is one thing I want to just leave with you today. Some of these things you're not going to be able to see yourself, because if you could have, you would have done it already, right? So, clients started just flocking, but I wasn't doing anything. I was getting noticed at work. I wasn't doing anything. And then I finally met my husband, but I wasn't doing anything. I thought, wow, this is really amazing. So I deepened in my practice of this work, and now I teach hundreds and thousands of women around the world on awakening. It's not clearing. It's not understanding your visual block, your blocks or anything. This is turning something on. It's your feminine energy, your sensuality that makes you feel juicy, helps you feel calm, no matter what's going on, COVID, whatever, and people start leaning into you. It's very attractive to kids, animals, men, other women, because it's more life force without you having to do anything. It's your natural state. Because this is how you were supposed to be before people started shutting you down, saying you're too bright, you're too this, you're too whatever. Because whatever's calling you on this whole thing called passion, I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? You're not going to have as clear of a read on that without this turned on, because the feminine essence is the center of your passion and purpose. So you can feel this is more than just building a business. This is you leading a groovy life that's more than just sort of getting by, right? So some of you are already feeling into, yeah, this is what I need. There are a lot of reasons why women are cut off from this energy. I'm not going to get into them too much today. This is what I do with my clients, and every woman is different. I'm thinking of my client, Lucretia. Before we started, she was like some part-time clerk in a nation chain of salons, barely getting by. It was really horrible. She had a lot of stress-related illnesses. She wasn't attracting the right kinds of men. She was miserable. And within a very short period of time, she'd gotten promoted like 3 times, doubled her income, met a man. A lot of these health problems just cleared up. Why? Because she was more in touch with the natural flow of her feminine energy. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is your it factor. And I'm just going to give you a taste today. There's a lot more that I can possibly share in such a short clip. But are you ready? By the way, write this down before we get started. Attention is the number one currency in life and business. Write that down. And the reason why I want you to hold that is this energy that I'm going to show you is going to help you attract more attention so that you get what you want. Feminine is magnetic. Masculine is electric. Some of y'all been living your life way too electric that you're going out and what would it be like if you could attract? So join me. I want you to imagine, and some of you might freak out, that trying to develop more awareness of your lower belly and pelvic bowl, your womb space. In feminine presence work, this is your mojo, your sensuality, your sexuality. Some of you are cut off from it. You're in touch with the energy of your hands, but not your womb space. So imagine going down inside your bod, about 3 or 4 inches below the navel, tucked towards the back. It's more towards the spine. Some of you carry your energy very forward. The feminine is much more receptive. You almost feel like you're going backwards, but you're not. Imagine dropping a light deep in your pelvic bowl. Do this with me. I tell all my clients that it's like as if your womb space. I know some of them are like, what? Just hang in there with me. It's like a well with beautiful stained glass, and the light pours in, and you're dropping a light down there and just amping the whole place up. So do this with me for a second. See if you can find a place deep in your pelvic bowl that's quiet. It feels good, ladies. It's not, oh, I gotta get there. It's more of a dropping feeling. Some of you live in the heart, which is groovy, but there's not enough mojo there. It's got to be dropped deeper, lower, in, down into the pelvic bowl till it touches your mojo, and light it up. And just join me in accessing your feminine essence. It's a quality. What is it? It's the it factor. Every woman has it. And you need it to get to the next level. Otherwise, it's a lot of self-help books and it's slow. A lot of looking at cognitive beliefs, and I need to clear this belief and my limiting belief and the visualizations. I mean, that's fine, but it's slow. You have to keep doing it. And so if you're tired of 3% improvement a year, let's have a conversation and amp this thing up. So if you're tired of just figuring this out by yourself, come hang out with me in the lower belly. Just notice what you feel. Now I want you to watch me as you stay in womb space. I'm going to demonstrate something for you. Our culture tends to be very mental, masculine oriented, right? So you stay down there in womb space and just watch me, because you're going to observe what other people see that's happening in your energy field and other people. People don't even know it, but it greatly impacts people's response to you. When you're on path of your passion, your purpose, making a difference, who are the folks that get gravitated to? It's people with this quality. And it has nothing to do with power poses or looking good or makeup and all these other things that people think are feminine. It's an energetic signature that's unique to you. So watch. I'm going to send my energy up into what I call the head bubble. I'm going to think about something that's bothering me, and I'm going to start talking to you realistically from my head bubble. So, I help women. This is so important if you want to stand out in the marketplace and make a bigger difference, because people who have more feminine essence attract more attention. And if you are tired of white knuckling your way, this is really useful so that you can attract more of the clients and the money you want. How does that feel? I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to put on anything. I've changed my energy focus. Now I'm going to drop down. You sit there and watch. I'm now in my womb space. And I'm not deliberately trying to change my voice, but it naturally happens. And I'm here to tell you, you have a purpose and a passion that is calling you. And the feminine is more about receptivity than trying to go figure it out. And what would it be like if you could attract more of the people, resources, and opportunities you want with less effort and feel a lot more juicy as a woman? What would happen to your masculine and feminine dynamics if you understood this about you? The right kind of attention. Maybe you would be able to shoot that video. Maybe you'd be able to negotiate with your kids without snapping at them. This is it's a quality that every woman has, and you're getting a taste of what people are experiencing, because I'm in womb space right now. So you can notice a difference already in this short clip. So what I want you to do is practice sitting in your womb space as much as you can. You'd be like, oh, I don't know where it is, or if you don't imagine it, that's fine. Just start developing more awareness of your lower belly. You can imagine your hips have gills like fish, and you're breathing out of your hips, right? And you'll notice that when you do that, you don't have to work so hard to clear your mind. It just naturally happens. Trying to get your mind to clear itself takes a lot of work. I'm for something that is more ease, more joyous, more grace, and you can be in the flow of your life. What would that be like? Probably less fighting with your spouse, probably having the courage to do the next thing in your business without, very important if you're going for your dreams. We're a culture that hasn't taught women how to do this because it's a lot of power. So practice womb space. That's enough for today. Now, this is the foundation of just a tiny bit of what is possible for you. And some of you can already feel into, oh my God, this feels really groovy, right? So I want you to do this. You can do this on your own, but there are some things I would not recommend you do on your own. And that's what a lot of you have been doing, trying to do this by yourself with a technique you learned somewhere, or a book, or an affirmation, that you're out there trying to fix yourself or mojo yourself up alone. It doesn't work. The reason is you need a community of people who can witness your energy, just like you witness mine. Because right now you have no idea what your energy signature is saying. You need the feedback because you can't see yourself. That's why the growth has been slow. You need a community and a teacher. Someone like me who specializes in this can exponentially increase your progress, so that you're not just, grinding this out by yourself, trying to figure out why it's not happening. So you need feedback, you need good tools, you need someone who can see what you can't, because you have shadows and you have, everybody's got blind spots. If you could have seen them, you would have already. So don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, I learned this little thing and now I can. It's a start. But if you're serious, let's have a conversation. Some of you know, yes, I am tired of doing this by myself. I don't want the next 6 months to go like the last 6 months, especially right now. We need stronger tools. We need community. I can't keep thinking I'm just going to, magically one day figure this out by myself. Some of you know you are destined for more in your journey as a woman. And maybe this is something that you just were never comfortable with, but you can feel it, right? I want to be the woman I was meant to be, not just walking around in a meat bucket. or not owning this power because I'm happiest as a woman. Maybe I want a better relationship, or maybe whatever it is. If that's the case, if you're feeling the calling, I encourage you to reach out. You can go to adelewang.com, get on the list for the next online classes on Spark Your Feminine Presence. These are small, intimate groups that I run online, very powerful, where you get witnessed. There's some powerful practices I don't have time to share with you today, but you'll start noticing changes pretty quick. All my clients do. And then they're shocked. And then I have to work with them on the clutching of, oh my God, what I wanted is happening. I'm like, don't worry, because there's always the next thing that you want. Some of you are tired of doing this alone. Maybe you're not surrounded by the right kinds of people. This is a path to spiritual awakening. So some of you might benefit from a private conversation with me. Maybe there's something more deep you'd like to discuss with me. I'm happy to, I have some slots on my calendar. I don't know if I can help you, but we can have a conversation. And if I don't think I can help you, I have a big list of people that I can refer you to. If I do think I can help you, we can have a conversation. What would serve you the most? And I have different ways of working with different people. What would help you get the biggest change? Either way, I think you'll find it time well spent. You're going to learn something, because this is not about more, what beliefs you have and all that. This is about your mojo, which is the foundation of everything, for purpose, passion, making a difference, being the woman. I think the worst thing for me was a sense that, I was going to leave this world back in the day when I had to make that decision. I was really scared. I was going to leave this life, never have stepped into what I was here to do. And I don't want that for you. So if you don't want the next 6 months to go like the last 6 months were, nothing changes without something changing. It's worth having a conversation. So I have an online class coming up soon. I can give you the schedule. Jump on that. Let's have a conversation. You can go to my website, adelewang.com or safehavenhealing.net. It's not the most beautiful website, but hey, you can read all about my story. You can send me an email, info@safehavenhealing.net. Or if you really want notes, by the way, if you want notes to this presentation, I have a summary of how the feminine energy runs in the body. There's some activation points and stuff. Send a text to hang on, I wrote down 66866 and text my name, Adele, 66866. I will shoot you a summary of how the feminine energy and essence runs in the body. So you've at least got that. Okay. So make a decision. What's possible for you now? We don't know what's going on. All you've got is now. So don't put off what you've known you've probably wanted for some time. Okay. So thanks. And I look forward to talking with you.